So I thought I'd play around with the new engine tonight. Just do a couple things, like probably pull off the wiring harness. I gotta change out the intake manifold, so start taking off whatever's in the way. Probably take this fan off. I have a new water pump for it, so maybe I'll put that on. The oil filter's still on, so I'll probably take that off. Just toy around with it a little bit and see where I get. Alright, removing the ignition coil pack. You unplug this connector here, and then you got this little guy sitting on here. Unplug that connector. You have a bolt here. It's a 13 millimeter. Mine was crazy rusted out. It was hard to get off. Then you got two in here. You got one right there, and then straight across another one there. And they are both 10 millimeters. Pull them out, and then your ignition coil pack comes right off. Here's a quick tip. Most of you probably do this, but for those who haven't really thought of it, it might help. I am constantly losing bolts from my projects. So what I do now that I've wised up to my problem, is every time I take a bolt out, I always put it right back where it was. And after, like I just removed the coil pack, after I take it out, I put that bolt right back where it was screwed in, and then I don't have to worry about losing those bolts. Another helpful tip: you should always label your electrical connections whenever you unplug something. Even if you're 100% positive, you'll know exactly where that goes. I still label it. Like, of course I'm going to know this went to the ignition coil, but I still label that it goes to the ignition coil. And I just take some tape, wrap it around the wire, then tape it back to itself to make this little flag, and write on it exactly what that goes to. That way when you're putting stuff back together, you don't get confused what goes to what, and then you get aggravated and upset, and you don't have any fun working on your project. So, just another little tip. I'm sure I'll come up with more. To get to the water pump down here, I'm going to have to take off this pulley system, and that's just 3 bolts. It's kind of dark. One here, one here, one here. I just pull out these bolts, and this one down here will stay in there because it's blocked behind the tensioner pulley there. So yank those, and it's out. There's the water pump right there. I need to get more light. We'll take the thermostat housing off here. Located, see, the engine would be sitting up like this. It's located right in front of your intake manifold here. Your upper radiator hose will be connected to it here. It's got 3 bolts. One there, right on the other side, another one there. I already took the other bolts out, and then one on the bottom there. And so those are all 10 millimeter. Let's see what this thermostat looks like. From the inside of there, it don't look too good. All rusty. Oh yeah, it's stuck in there good. Just pop her out. There we go. Is that some mold growing on there? Actually, it looks like it was put in there fairly recently. Other than all this stuff on it. but I'm gonna put a new one in there anyways. You know, yeah, that's nasty looking. Gonna pull off the fuel pressure regulator here. I believe that's what it is. If I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me. So to get this off here, you got a vacuum line connected to the side of it here. Pop that off. I'm not sure what this one goes to. I'll have to figure that out. But they're two separate lines. They're not joined together. But then you got a bolt here and another one here. They're both 8mm. Pop those out. And I suggest having a rag close by because you might get some fuel out of here. I also suggest if this is in your car, relieve the pressure from this valve right here. And so you just yank up on this and it'll pop out of there. And very little gas came out. Good. I also noticed I pulled all this wiring, top wiring harness off with all the fuel injector plugs on it, so I can get some access in there. Alright, I'm gonna pull the intake manifold off here. To do that, you got a plug here. Pop that off. Actually, let me say this beforehand. This is a 96 Explorer 4.0 engine, so it's anything to do with this intake manifold, I believe, is different from the 93 Ranger that this series of videos is about. So as I'm going through this intake manifold, things might be different from what you're seeing on your engine. Again, that's if you got the 93. I believe it was 93 to 95 or 96, something like that. And then they changed it 96 and up. I'm not sure, but just want to let you know some things might be different than what I show you here. But anyways, for here, you unplug this one. You'll have a, you know, your throttle cable attached here. I don't have one. Down here, looks to me like the oil return line. I'm not sure because mine's cut off on this end. Look at that bike. Anyways, so that might be the oil return line. Not positive. But then you've got 4 bolts, one on each corner. Top and there's the bottom too. Maybe I should have taken them out before starting the video. Are you serious? There goes this one. And look how long these suckers are. I'm guessing they're coarse threaded like that because they're going into plastic. I might have to use 2 hands with this one. There it goes. Alright. I do not like the look of that. Look at that. That thing is full of oil. Oh yeah, it's soaked full of oil in there. My light, there we go. There's like this little pump thing on the back. It goes along in line with that oil return. It comes in here. It looks like it's got like a pump that I can't really see inside, but it moves back and forth inside here. I guess to regulate, you know, coming in and out of here. But anyways, 2 10mm bolts. You got this plug on it, and that's it. Then you got this little box here. It's got this one electrical plug, 2 vacuum lines, and then it's got 2 bolts here and here, and those are 7mm. Unscrew that, unplug the electrical, unplug the vacuum lines. The vacuum lines come down here to this pipe attached to your exhaust, and that'll come right out. Alright, now we got this cylinder thing here. Let's see, you can see this whole thing right here. It's got 1 electrical plug, and then below that 2 vacuum lines plugged in. Let's see, the red one comes up here and into this big connection into the intake manifold. This green one goes around here. It's broken and attaches to I can't think of what that is right now, but attaches to that. I'm sure all this right here has to do with your smog and emissions, all that, so whatever. But you got 1 bolt right there and 1 bolt right there, both 7mm, and this whole thing comes off. Alright, it's finally starting to look like we're making some progress here. Getting everything disconnected. All we got left here is this connection with all these little vacuum lines. You got this hose, which went to something, I don't know, it's cut off. And then you got this hose down here that runs down to the valve cover. And then it looks like this pipe here, you probably gotta undo this bolt here and one on the other side. And then just unbolt the intake manifold, and it should be ready to come off of there. Our intake manifold is off, and it is nasty. Oh, that is gross. I don't like the look of that. I was able to keep that pipe on. It's got a little hook here. So let's see if I can show you. When you're taking the intake manifold off, you have to pull it up and then hook it towards the front of the car, and then you can pull it off of that pipe there. To pull this fuel rail, we already pulled the fuel pressure regulator off, and you got this fuel line here. You just unscrew off right here. And then you got these studs you got to pull off. If you don't have a Torx bit to get these off, let's see if you can see that. You can't. A 7/32 socket fits right on there, and you can just turn right out. Alright. So once you pull them studs out, pull this fuel line off, then the fuel rail come right out. So I got the fuel rail off here. You got the fuel rail, and then it's got this spacer. It's got a gasket on top of it, and then a gasket below. So I took the fuel rail off. You can see this cylinder right here is just full of oil. No, not cylinder, but this intake port is just completely full of oil. And that's not a good sign. I'll have to pump all that out of there. I'm gonna take this lower intake manifold off and see what's going on inside there. In order to get that off, I'm going to have to take both the valve covers off in order to get to that. Anyways, after you get the fuel rail off, if you plan on doing any more work, digging into this thing, I suggest you just pulling out all the fuel injectors just so you don't damage them. Or if you plan on putting on new fuel injectors, you're gonna pull them out anyway. So looks like I'm digging deeper. Alright, I got the valve covers off here. Be the right side, and be the left side. Pretty simple to take these off. You got, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This side, you got 5, 6, 7, and 8 bolts to take out. And what size were those? I think those were 10s, 10 millimeter. Get those off. So now I can work on getting the lower intake manifold off. I siphoned all the oil out of the cylinder there. To get the lower intake manifold off, you get these bolts here, bump, 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 and I believe those are 10s. Let me check for you right here. Yep, those are 10 millimeters. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Lower intake manifold is off, and it just keeps getting worse. It is so nasty in here. Look at all the coolant ports all clogged up with nastiness. And all the intake inlets. I'm definitely going to be cleaning everything up real good before putting this back together. And that is caked in there thick. Nothing's ever easy. After doing a little research, figured out, well, no research like online or anything, I can't find it, but from looking at the old engine and this engine, the header is different. Mine doesn't have this connection here with this pipe. I mean, I still got it's got a whole different pipe setup here, but the main difference is I don't have this pipe here that goes up into the intake manifold, which makes sense because my intake manifold is different. So I'll go ahead and take off this header, and we'll be reusing my old header. To pull off the header, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts, and those are 10 millimeter. I forgot to mention, if you got the 96 like this engine is, you have to pull out these 2 screws here that go into this on the header right there. Actually 2 nuts for there. And these headers on these engines are plaguing me. If you've seen from the other video, I had the 2 bolts that completely stripped out. Well, on this one, I got a bolt that broke off in the hole. And it broke off flush. So I got no way of grabbing it. Maybe I could try and drill it out, or I don't know. I think I'm just going to use the head from the old engine. Oh man.